concept in our previous video, and now we are going to continue with the concept which says business entity concept. Now, what is business entity concept? We all know that there is a proprietor, be it a sole proprietor, be it a business of partners, be it a government institution, anywhere in any place where there is a business, there is a head of the business. Always you have a person who is investing capital into the business, or there are partners who come together to invest something into the business. So what is business entity concept says that the business is a different person, and the person who is investing in that particular business is a different entity altogether. And that is a whole and sole reason that when you write the capital, you write it on the liability side of the business. Why so? Because the capital given by the businessman to the business is a liability for the business. The business owes that amount, and the business has to return that amount to the businessman whenever possible. Even when the business is winding up, you have to return that money every year. You have to pay certain interest on that capital to the owner. So here you can evidently see that the business is a different entity and the business person is a different entity, or you can say the sole proprietor or the whole and sole proprietor or the partnership for that matter are different entities. They have to be treated different entities. Also, if there is any drawing taking place, if there is an amount taken from the businessman from the business, so here you see that the amount is withdrawn for the business. So how are you going to treat it? Any business where the businessman is taking a lot of money out of the business, then you can evidently see that the business will see a loss. So here this principle plays a very imperative role, that whatever amount is drawn is going to be written in the partner's capital account, or it is to be reduced from the capital, so that the financial statement clearly states that this amount is taken away from the business by the businessman, and the businessman owes that amount to return it back to the business. So in that way, this is a whole concept of what we say business entity concept, and this is like for each and every business, be it a sole proprietor, be it a partner, be it an NGO, be it any other format. Any business structure has to follow this principle. Next is money measurement concept. Money measurement concept is like in every business you will be having furniture, you will be having goods, you will be having raw material, you will be having furniture or fans or books, files, and etc, etc, etc. So there are n number of things, but till the point you don't give it a monetary value, that the price of the goods is 20,000, the amount of the assets are 50,000, the building is of 2 lakhs, the machinery is of 6 lakhs. So this monetary value has to be there for each and every item which is being recorded in the financial statement. In the financial statement, you cannot mention that there were 250 goods in the godown. You have to mention the amount, the value of that particular goods into the financial statement. You are not supposed to write the quantity of anything, like I had 4 chairs, 6 tables, 10 pens in the office which is being utilized for the business. No, you have to write the monetary value, and each and everything with a monetary value can only be added in the profit and loss account, where we actually record all the expenses. Other than that, you are not supposed to record the quantity of the same. So each and everything which is supposed to be recorded in the accounting arena need to have a monetary value for the same. And this principle also speaks about the same, that money measurement, everything has to be calculated in money, no quantity, nothing to be like in only words and etc. A proper a valuation, a proper valuation, that too in form of money, should be there for each and every item which is included there. I hope that is pretty much clear to everybody. Next is accounting period concept. Now this was something very much struggled on, that what should be the accounting period. So around the globe people came to a structure that it should be of 1 year. Okay, so of course we know our year starts on January and ends in December, but when we come to accounts, our year starts from 1st April and it ends on 31st March next year. So that is a standard accounting year which is followed throughout the India, where you will see all the accounts are opened on 1st April and the accounts are closed on 31st March of that preceding of that next year, of whichever, like if it's starting from 1st April 2015, it will probably end on 31st March 2016. So this is what this principle speaks about, that accounting period concept, that is of 1 year. And also this speaks about that whatever item, whatever expenses, whatever valuation you're giving to the entries into the financial statement needs also to be of that one particular year. Any depreciation is to be calculated for that particular year. Any salary paid is to be calculated for the whole 12 months. Any rent paid, say for that matter, for building, plant and machinery, any car expenses, etc. Everything needs to be calculated for that particular 1 year. Okay, so in each and everything, even if it is prepaid or something, prepaid has a different adjustment, outstanding will have a different expenses and a lot of things, but this 1 year is something very much fixed, that it will start from 1st April and it will end on 31st March. So this principle speaks pretty much about this. Next is cost concept and historical concept. Now this is something very similar. Cost concept is basically arised because of the valuation of fixed assets. Now we all know that fixed assets are of huge amount. They can be of more like 6 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs or even more than that. So this is something very much huge amount for any business entity. So in a year, if we reduce this amount from the business, it can showcase a lot of loss for the businessman. So this cost concept is used so that a businessman in like span of 5 to 10 years recovers that particular amount, and whenever that machinery gets obsolescence, or if there is any mishappening to the cost of the assets, then this depreciation system can overcome that loophole of the financial statement. Say for example, there is a machinery of 10 lakhs. You are showing the valuation of 10 lakhs in the year 2015. When you are calculating it for the next opening balances, what are you supposed to do is, you are going to reduce some percentage from that machinery and you are going to show it in the profit and loss account. Now this whole concept of depreciation is created so that whenever in future this plant and machinery gets the value gets reduced, the market value gets reduced, then the businessman doesn't need to face the loss altogether. There is something called depreciation which is already been reduced every year. Like in reality, of course, things don't get reduced so much, but this concept speaks about that the value decreases every year. Okay, this principle speaks that the value of the assets, whichever asset is in the business which is used as plant and machinery or building or any other stuff, it gets reduced and it has to be like the value has to be shown to be depleting, and the value is to be reduced and shown in the profit and loss account debit side. So in this way, this historical concept is very much useful in the financial statement to create a balance in the accounts, so that you don't suffer the loss altogether, and you don't show a lot of profit also. So this concept speaks pretty much about that. Next, dual aspect concept. Now, what does this speaks about? Like if something is debited, okay. Say for example, we are creating a depreciation in the business. If we are depreciating the value of machinery, so we will go to the asset side, okay, and we will reduce some percentage from the same. But this is just a single entry. But what happens in accounts is you will have a dual entry for the same, and you will be also calculating that amount in profit and loss account in debit side, so that there is a balance. Okay, so that there is a balance in the whole situation. You don't reduce a lot from debit side and you don't credit anything. Okay, everything, if there is something which is debited, there has to be an account which is credited. Okay, if you are selling goods, okay, the goods account will be reduced. Okay, the amount of goods from your stock will be reduced, but the amount of cash which is being deposited in the bank will also increase. So this is what the dual concept speaks altogether, and accounting is very much strict on this, that every account has to be changing when there is an effect, where there is an event, okay, when there is a transaction, there has to be debited and credited at the same time. It cannot happen so that only things are being credited and credited all the time. There is an account which is debited at the same time, be it other than person who is not associated with the business but is being affected by the same entry. Say for example, we are selling goods to Mohan, because of Mohan is receiving that goods. So we are going to open Mohan's account and we are going to show that these particular goods were sent to him and he has paid the amount in cash to us. If we are not showing that Mohan is receiving the goods and we are just showing that we got the cash, then that will create a disbalance in the cash, because now we don't know that how are these goods getting reduced and our cash is being increased. We need definite reason for changes in these both accounts, because of course our goods are also being reduced, our cash is also increased. So this principle explains us about how things should be balanced in both the accounts. So that's it, the business entity concept, where we speak that the business is a different person and the business person who has invested the money is a different entity altogether. Money measurement, which speaks that everything should be noted in a particular amount. You cannot tell that I have 250 goods and 100 pens and 5 folders into the business. You have to give it a monetary value. You have to give a valuation to each and everything which you note down in the financial statement. Accounting period is of 1 year, that starts from 1st April to and it ends on 31st March. Cost concept, which gives a clear picture of how the valuation of the fixed assets should be done and why it should be done, so that we don't suffer the loss. The financial statement doesn't reflect a lot of loss or a lot of profit in a year. Dual aspect concept, that if one account is credited, the another should be credited and vice versa. Do go through the notes and let me know if any queries. Thank you.